So today I have the privilege of having Lady Daff from DeJaz Cigars joining me today. We're going to be talking.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Let me get my camera going here.
Oh,
There we go.
there we go. How are you?
Oh, well, how are you?
I am good, and I am about to smoke the Lucre. Am I
Yes, that's what I'm having myself.
great minds? Because I kept going back and forth, and I was like, you know what? Let me just do the Ducre today. So that's what we're going to do today. So first, tell me what made you decide that you wanted to be a cigar owner?
So I kind of fell in love with cigars from my husband. When him and I first started dating, I knew nothing about cigars. Didn't know anything about cigars, had never been around anybody who smoked cigars. And him and I went out to a local town. We went for a stroll in New Hope, Pennsylvania, and we went into a tobacco shop. And he ended up picking up an Acid Cuba cigar. And so as we were out walking around the little town area, I was like, oh my gosh, that really smells good. And of course, he's like, well, you think I would get something that stinks to smoke around my lady? I said, well, I don't know. I don't know anything about cigars. And, you know, we all know what secondhand cigarette smoke smells like. And many of us who smoke cigars don't like the smell of cigarettes.
Right.
But I had never been exposed to cigars. So we're in New Hope, Pennsylvania. We're walking around. I was like, I really do like the smell of that. That really smells good. And so I said, well, I would like to try a cigar. So when we got back home and about a month later, he ordered some cigars and he ordered me a Tatiana caramel mocha. And I fell in love with it. I was like, oh, this is cool. And now, of course, my first time smoking a cigar, I, coughed up a lung and didn't know what to do. But I kind of fell in love with it. And so over time, I started smoking cigars and I really fell in love with the different varieties that they had out there for the infused cigar smoker.
Mm-hmm.
So how I got into selling cigars, because I ended up having a passion and somebody had once asked me, well, what is it about cigars? Like, what is it that, what does it do? Like, you hear different things like why do people drink or why do people smoke? And for me, smoking a cigar is nice and relaxing. It's nothing like after a long day of work. Like I had work today and now I'm sitting down in my sunroom. I'm having a lucra and I'm relaxing, having a glass of wine and doing this interview with you. And I am relaxed and it's peaceful and it's joyful. I can put on some music in the background and just kind of chill out. And that's what cigars does for me. And that's how I got into the business.
Okay. So when he gave you the Tatiana at first, did you think that you would stay in that type of cigar? Because Tatianas are smaller. And because you said that, I started off smoking a Tatiana Groovy Blue. That's how I started.
That's my other favorite cigar too of the infused. I mean, when I first had a Tatiana Groovy Blue, it reminded me of Great Kool-Aid. I felt like a kid all over again.
Yes. And I think I acted just like a kid because I was like, oh my God, this is, I mean, I was just so over the moon. And I didn't think that I thought I was going to stay there. So did you think you were going to stay with the Tatiana type of brand of cigar? Or did you know that you wanted to branch out?
I knew that I wanted to branch out. I'm always one, my husband will tell you, you are the risk taker. Like I will try anything once. I'm a foodie. Like I like to eat. I like to try different things. And the only way that you're going to find out about different things and learn about different things is if you experience yourself or open up yourself to experience different things.
Correct.
So I started out with the Tatiana, and then from the Tatiana, I went to the Isabel Soul, but I stayed in line with the infused. Okay. Now, for me, the Tatianas, like I said, because I didn't know any different, I didn't know any better, Tatiana's worked for me. So I had the Ruby Blues. I did the Ruby Blues, the caramel mochas. But then I found that as I began smoking different infused cigars, the wrappers started to change and the leaf started to change. And as I began to smoke different cigars, and then when I began to study about cigars, I then learned that it's all in how the cigar is made. And so for me, I didn't stay with the Tatianas because the wrapper felt weak to me. Mm-hmm. So I'll be honest with you, I have a moist palate. So when I'm smoking a cigar, the tip of my cigar gets very wet because I have a very moist palate. Okay. And I found that when I was smoking a Tatiana, it would get really, really soft. So it felt like I had something squishy in my mouth and it wasn't as enjoyable. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I'll still smoke a Tatiana every now and then, but it's not my go-to. I want something that has a little firmer wrapper along with it.
Okay. So now, because you said your husband smokes cigars, mm-hmm. so you've been smoking cigars for how long?
Oh wow, I've been smoking cigars now probably for about 4 to 5 years.
So in those 4 to 5 years, I've only been smoking for a year, so I'm still like a toddler. I'm a toddler. Okay. So but in that year, my tastes have gone like so far over the rainbow. It seems like right. I thought I was gonna stay with Tatiana, and then it was like, I tried an acid. Then I was like, I think I might stay with an acid. Right. Then I tried a My Father's Original. So it kept growing. So correct. How long did it take for you? I know you said you didn't like you have the moist palate. So how long did it take for you to move into a more hearty cigar like what you have?
So I would say probably about a year, because there's so many different infused cigars out there. I mean, you just named a few. You have acid, you have Tatianas, you have Javas, you have Isla del Sol. So there's a lot of infused cigars out there where you can expand your palate to open. So I was trying this and trying that, trying this and trying it, because I wanted to find something that I like. But for me, what happened was it got to the point for me where I had smoked so many infused cigars that I knew what it tasted like before it even got to my lips. It's kind of like, how when you have that, I always use this analogy. It's like when you got that craving for some Popeye's fried chicken or some good fried chicken, and they say you be salivating for it, and you could taste that chicken in your mouth. That's what the infused cigars did for me. I had smoked so many that I was like, okay, I can't do this anymore. I need something different. So from infused, I went to mild. So from the infused lineup, the first go-to that I went to was a Baccarat. Okay. A Baccarat is a mild cigar. I love a Baccarat. Like a Baccarat is my everyday go-to cigar, outside of my line that I just came up with. Okay. So that was a nice mild cigar for me. And I fell in love with the Baccarat. Then I fell in love with the Five Vegas Gold. But I stuck with a mild cigar. And I found that I enjoyed the Connecticut wrapper cigars versus the Maduro wrapper cigars, because your Maduro is a little bit heavier. Mm-hmm. And I didn't want something that was going to make me sick to my stomach. Mm-hmm. I didn't want anything that was going to give me that queasy feeling. So I stuck with the mild Connecticut. So I will always go to a mild Connecticut cigar. I mean, my Ducati, that's why I came out with a Ducati, because it's a mild everyday smoke that you can have. You can have it with a cup of coffee. You can have it for breakfast. You can have it for lunch. You can have it for dinner. You can have it as a snack, because it's that mild. So it's that mild everyday smoke. Okay. And then the Lucre like we have right now, which we'll talk in more detail about later on. That's something if you want something a little bit heavier. It's not as heavy. I mean, it's heavier than the Ducati, but it gives you something a little bit different on your palate.
Okay. And I'm so glad that you went into that, because a lot of people will always say, well, I don't smoke Connecticut's because that's like a beginner smoke or whatever like that. And I have found that depending on the brand and the maker, Connecticut's can be totally across the board.
That's true.
So it's not 100% because I had a funny story. I picked up a Connecticut probably 3 months into me smoking. And I can't even remember the brand because it literally sat me down. And I'm like, oh, well, wait, I thought all Connecticut's were mild. Like, what is happening here?
Right, right, right.
So what has been the biggest hurdle that you have encountered while producing your cigars?
I would say the biggest hurdle is finding the right niche and finding the right person that was going to make my cigars. So I was able to connect with, a rep that could sit down with me to get my cigar brand the way that I want it. And I obviously tested it and smoked it before I put it on the test market. I mean, I did a small test market just to get the feel before I decided to come out publicly with my line, because, nobody wants to put a cigar out there in the world that nobody's going to buy or that nobody wants to buy.
Right.
So I did have a couple challenges. The first challenge I had was the bands. And I think I mentioned that to you before.
Yes.
So when my first batch of cigars that I had, obviously staying within my test market, the bands that I had used for the label of my cigars, what I found was when you went to remove your band, because obviously the brand, I'm not a leaf, so you can't smoke the band on my cigar.
Right.
So, but when you went to take the band off, some of the outside of your cigar, the wrapper will come off as well.
Okay.
So then now you got a shaggy cigar, and nobody wants to be smoking a shaggy cigar.
Right.
So for me, that was one of the biggest hurdles that I faced. Was I had to go with a new brand maker, a new label maker to change the band. So now I have a new band. It makes it easier. Your cigar doesn't get destroyed or anything. It still stays intact when you remove the band off your cigar.
Okay. So now that was your biggest hurdle. So what has been your biggest joy in your cigar line?
My biggest joy in my cigar line is talking about the business and talking about cigars. One of my goals, or the reason why, I guess you asked me, how did I get into the business? The reason why I started the business, and it says it right on my website and it says it right on my business card, is I want you to experience something different with your palate. So I have my own brand, but I also offer variety packs. So when I first started my business, I said, I want people to experience something different. Now, don't get me wrong. We like what we like, right? Like if you a Starbucks girl, you gonna go to Starbucks. And if I say go to Dunkin' Donuts, you might say, all right, I'll try it. But your go-to is Starbucks.
Right.
So I respect the fact that people like what they like, but I want you to experience something different. So I also offer variety packs as an option on my website so that you get different cigars. So if you order a 4-pack of mild cigars from me, you're going to have 4 different cigars in there, and you're getting a premium cigar at a discount. And the one thing that I like about it is because you're getting this premium cigar at a discount, you're getting 4 probably for the price of 2, maybe. So out of that 4-pack or 5-pack or 6-pack, if even there's just one cigar that you did not like, you really can't be mad because you didn't pay full retail price for that cigar. So you can smoke half of it and chuck it and then say, well, you know what? I didn't pay full price at the store.
Right.
But then if you find a cigar in there that you love, you can say, oh, wow, I never had this cigar before.
Right.
I really like this. You hold on to that band, and then you come back and say, Lady Daff, I found this in a variety pack. Can I get this? I'm like, you may get that one, but if you want a special order, you can either order a single stick, or you can, I can work with you to customize your order, but there's more than likely the chance that you'll get that cigar again.
Right. And I'm like, that's the beauty of it for me, because I love when people offer variety packs, because it will ultimately be something in there that you never had that you're like, I don't know if I'm gonna like that or not. And then you're like, what? Well, wait a minute. What is happening? I'm digging this new cigar, like not even thinking that you were going to enjoy it. So I like that you do that. And I like that you explained it that way, because a lot of people don't understand it's still a business, and you still are in the business to make money, but ultimately is always about your customers and making your customers happy. So now you're coming out with your cigars. So you have 2 so far. So how many will be in the DeJaz line?
Right now we're just starting out with 2. So we haven't forecasted, and not in the short term do we have plans to come out for the rest of the year. For the rest of 2022 and probably all of 2023, we're going to focus on the Ducati and the Lucra, and then we'll probably add additional brands after that. But we will really want to push the Ducati and the Lucra brands right now.
Okay, so I gotta ask, who has a Ducati?
Who has the Ducati?
Yeah, I mean, because it's a brand of motorcycle as well. No, so I thought I was like, oh, okay, somebody must ride one.
No, actually, Ducati is, if you think about it, it's a money terminology. So my cigar brands, the names of my cigars is based off of the twist of the concept of money, because it's all about expanding your portfolio and getting to the next level.
Okay.
So that's how I came up with my name. I didn't even think about a motorcycle.
Okay.
I thought about the dollar figures, and I want people to feel inspired when they smoke my cigar.
Ah, okay. So now let me ask you. Now, is it geared to females, or will men get enjoyment out of this as well?
Men will get enjoyment out of it as well. It's not geared just towards women. It's geared for men and women. I just happen to be a woman owner, but it's geared towards men and women. So the Lucra, I would say, is more geared towards the men, because most men like Maduro full body cigars. But I also wanted to give an option for the ladies, because now it's funny, because I was at an event a couple of weeks ago, and actually it wasn't even an event. I went to a club in the Baltimore, Maryland area, and I met a woman. She's like, all I smoke is full body cigars. I was like, what? Get out of here. You don't find too many that come out the gate. Too many women that come out the gate that say, I only smoke full body. Right. And then you have women who are saying, oh, I'm just starting. But my business is not geared just towards women. It's for men and women. I'm not one of those people that says, oh, well, I only want to support Black women, and I only want to support women, and I only want women buying my cigars. No, because the majority of my clients are men. Oh, wow. So the majority of my clients are men, and now I'm branching out because I want to embrace the women as well.
Okay. So you, along with your cigars, I see you have on a t-shirt. So are you offering a line of apparel and accessories to go along with?
So what I offer with my cigars, you are able to get cigars and cigar accessories. Right now, I do not have any t-shirts. This is a t-shirt that I wear for business purposes to represent DeJaz Cigars. At some point in the future, we will be adding a DeJaz Cigars t-shirt to the line. You can buy accessories. For example, you can buy lighters. They're not DeJaz brand cigar lighters. However, I do make that option available because I do pop-up events as well. So if people say, oh, well, I'm having a pop-up, here, can you come and vend? Yes, I'll be more than happy to. And then you get to this event and somebody buys cigars and they're like, oh man, I don't have a lighter. Well, you can buy a lighter. I sell ashtrays. I sell Bavita packs. So there's accessories that you can buy as well, in addition to the cigars.
Okay, so in the beginning you mentioned your husband. So is your husband, how is it working? I mean, is he a part of the business? Is he giving you tips and tricks and things like that to make your business, run smoother? Or is he just, or are you just like, no, stand to the side, I got this?
That's exactly how it is. Stand to the side, I got this. He's the silent partner.
Okay.
He gives me 100% support. I mean, when he meets friends, he has friends that ask him about cigars. He's like, you got to talk to my wife. She's an aficionado. You have to call her. If you want to know anything about cigars, call my wife. When I first started out, I always laughed. I smoked 2 cigars to his 1. So it's like when we're sitting at home and we're relaxing on a Saturday evening, I pull about at least 3 or 4 sticks out, and he has 2, because I already know that before the night's out, I'm probably going to get through at least 3 of those sticks to probably his 1.5.
Wow. Yeah. So it is almost as if the student has become the master.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And we laugh and joke about it, and we love, we find it enthralling between us. It's nothing like us to sit down. I mean, that's something that's very relaxing for my husband and I. Like, even after a long day's work, we sit in the evening, sit out in the sunroom, we'll have a smoke, or even if we'll take the car out for a drive and we put the top down and we have a smoke, it's a pleasurable experience. So, yes, my husband's the one that got me into the business, but it really was it was really me who had the idea started. I came to him, I said, you know what? I'm ready to start my own cigar business. He was like, really? He's like,
Wow.
well, you've been talking about it and talking about it and talking about it. And I'm just happy that you're finally going forth with it. So,
Mhm.
I mean, I actually launched DeJaz Cigars in 2020.
Okay.
And so it was available for purchase online, the variety packs, and I was doing pop-up shops from different opportunities that I had. And 2022 was the year that I actually came out with my own brand.
Okay. So from your thought of I want to do this to you having your very first cigar in your hand, how
Mm-hmm.
long was that process?
I would say about a year and a half.
Okay. And is
Yeah.
that because you were very particular about what you wanted for your binder and your filler and your wrapper? Or
Yes,
was it
ma'am.
because you were coming up against obstacles being a woman owned business?
Nope, it was more so I wanted everything to be just right.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to make sure I had my I's dotted, my T's crossed, my ducks in a row. I didn't want to just come up with a brand and then it fall flat on its face. I wanted to make sure that I strategized and planned it out. So it wasn't an idea that I was going to rush into.
Mm-hmm.
It was something that I thought about and strategically planned and said, now it's time for me to launch my own brand.
Wow. Okay. So are you doing major events? I know we have an event this week here in the Maryland, DC area, or are you just really focusing on just popping up and word of mouth and people asking you to come to their events?
It's more of the latter, word of
Okay.
mouth. So I'm really trying to push to get my name out there, and where the opportunity presents itself. If they need a cigar lady, they need a cigar vendor, I'm there. I was at a pop-up event yesterday. And from that event yesterday, I got 2 more events on my schedule now where I'm going to be at another pop-up event. And so I'm excited because now the opportunities are starting to come even faster now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more about networking with people and getting the DeJaz Cigars name out there and also pushing the brand out there as well.
So you're mainly online.
I'm mainly online, yes.
Okay. And so when you are, I saw you on Instagram. So
Yes.
if people want to reach out to you, where can they find you?
Okay, so they can reach me 3 different ways. Well, I guess I should say 4. First is via my website, www.dejazcigars.com. Just like it's spelled, DEJAZCIGARS.com. Real simple, 2 words.com. I'm also on Instagram at DeJazCigars.com. I'm also on Facebook at DeJaz Cigars. At the DeJaz Cigars.
Mm-hmm.
So you can find me on Facebook, you can find me on Instagram, and then you can always reach me by cell 302-455-7463.
302, I think that's Delaware, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
I only know that because my daughter went to Delaware State. So
okay.
So that's why I know that area. Mm-hmm. So that's great. You're local, you're close.
Yes, I am.
So that is like so amazing that we now have almost like this inner network of people in this area, especially women that are coming out with their own line of cigars. And I just got to tell you, so I've been smoking this while we've been talking, and it is an amazing cigar. Like every week I do like a top 5. So and I did so this week I'm starting my new list, and I've already had 3. Well, this done pushed 2 of them out of the way. So this is number 1 for this week right now. So I'm like, what? I just didn't even, not that I didn't expect it to be a good cigar, but you never know.
You don't know what to expect.
Right.
You don't know. Here it is. You found me. You heard I was coming out with my own line. I sent you the sample of our cigars, and boom, here it is. Yeah. Now we're live. You're talking about your experience of smoking. I mean, I love my cigars. I mean, why wouldn't I, right?
Right.
So, I mean, why wouldn't I, right?
Right.
you know, the Lucra is, like I said, it's a medium to full, so it's not too heavy on the full. It's not too heavy, you know. It's just right, to say the least. Because
Yeah,
you know how.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Because you know, with some full body cigars, right? So you know, when people think full body kind of is like it's kind of like a mild medium scale, if you think about it, because there's some full bodies that are not that heavy. So for example, a CAO Pylon is a full body cigar, but that CAO MX2, that's a heavy full body cigar.
Okay.
Now I'll smoke a CAO Pylon before I smoke a CAO MX2, because in order to smoke a CAO MX2, I need to have a steak dinner, some whiskey, and make sure everything is full in the belly, because I'm not trying to get sick off that heavy full body.
Right.
But if I do a CAO Pylon, then I might be able to do something like some chicken, or, you know, after that could be after dinner. Now, don't get me wrong.
I think
And women.
okay.
So there are
some
some men that says, I just huh? Oh, I'm sorry. It's just, some men say, I just need a full, some men just need that heavy full body cigar. And I can say, well, the Lucra is a full body cigar. It's medium to full. But if you're looking for that MX2, the Lucra's not for you. But it's still something that you would enjoy, because you have that medium to full body effect.
Now I can tell you, because I was cooking dinner. Now I'm a little upset with myself, because I was cooking dinner and I'm making pork chops. And this is going to be, I wish that I hadn't started it yet, because this would go great with my pork chop dinner.
Right.
Pork chop, some steamed broccoli, and a little bit of pasta on the side. That's what I'm having for dinner. And I'm like, oh my God, this would go so great with that. Because even though it's full body, is not heavy, and the pork chop is not heavy. And I'm drinking with it actually is a rum punch from a distillery here in Maryland. So it is pairing really nicely with my rum punch. So it's like, wow, you think full bodied, and you're thinking, okay, I need to get a dry red wine, and I got, like you said, a steak, and I got, but yeah, I won't burn my dinner after having this, because if you smoke a full body, you might burn your dinner afterwards, because you messed around, got sleepy and tired. And
oh, I'll never forget it. The one day I was sitting at home one evening, my husband and I were chilling out, and I had a full body cigar. And I went to get up out my chair and almost fell on the floor. I was like, I don't know what the heck was in that cigar. But I tell you, I didn't finish it. But it was a full body cigar. But at that point, I wasn't ready for full bodies. Like I said, I'll try anything once. I will try anything once. But at that particular point in time, my body wasn't ready to handle a full body cigar.
Okay.
Now I'm 4 or 5 years into smoking cigar. Now, look, I ain't even gonna lie. I still ain't ready for the MX2 yet.
Okay.
I done heard some things about that MX2. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna leave that right there. But there's enough in the spectrum where I can enjoy if I want something light. Like in the morning times when I get up for coffee, I can have the Ducati, because it's something nice, it's something light. I can sit and relax, drink my coffee, eat my breakfast, and I had my smoke for the day, and I'm good.
So yes. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, so like you said, you're drinking some rum punch. I'm drinking a glass of peach Moscato wine with the liquor, and it goes very well. Pairs very well with the.
So is this your full-time job, or do you have another 9 to 5?
Oh, this is not my full-time job. No, ma'am. But it will soon be my full-time job.
Okay. So I see that you're looking forward, looking ahead and knowing what you're going to do. So tell me one thing, like my niece just started smoking cigars. Okay. So this is going to be one I'm going to recommend to her. This one is exciting. What is the one thing you can tell a new cigar smoker?
So I will tell a new cigar smoker. Well, first of all, I recommend for beginners, somebody that's just coming into the cigar world, to try an infused cigar. And the reason why I say try an infused cigar is because with infused cigars, the leaf, the wrapper of the cigar has a flavor to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know this from smoking infused cigars. So in order for that individual to get used to the cigar taste in their mouth, or something foreign, something new on their palate, they need to get used to something that tastes good. Okay. Because you don't want to give them a mild cigar and they be like, well, this don't taste like nothing, or it tastes like paper, or it tastes raw, or it tastes harsh. But if you give them a Java Mint, or if you give them a Tatiana, or if you give them a Groovy Blue, right? You give them something that is fruity, or something that's chocolatey, or something that's minty. And then as they put it to their palate, when they go to, and not inhale, but when they go to, take a puff, it's like, oh, it's something sweet, something that tastes good. Their palate can get used to the tobacco being on their lips and the smoke being in their mouth, and it not taste nasty.
Okay. And that's such great advice, because the person, Pam and Walter, I go camping, so they camp, and they gave me the Groovy Blue. And what she said to me was, I want you to pull the, like a straw, pull it into your mouth, and I want you to let it sit there. And then after you blow it out, I want you to tell me what it tastes like. And it was like this flavor burst of, just like, oh my God, this is just like, this is what smoking cigars is like. Now, I've always loved cigars. I've always loved being around them. I've been going to a cigar lounge for like 20 years.
Oh, wow.
And never smoked a cigar in my life, but been going just because I like the smell of cigars.
Well, I tell people any day that I'd rather smell like a cigar than smell like a cigarette.
Yes.
It just, it just has a different aroma. It has a different, I mean, even some of the strongest cigars, they still have a different aroma, but they smell nothing like a cigarette. So I tell people all the time, I'd rather smell like a cigar than smell like a cigarette. And that's really how I got into smoking cigars. It was like, it was something different. It was something different. Excuse me. It was something different. And that's how I said, you know what, I enjoy this. And this is something that I want to do for chilling out time.
You know what? I'm so glad I saw you on Instagram.
Me too.
I'm so glad I saw you on Instagram. I'm so glad I got to sit down and talk to you. Because talking to someone who's not, I'm not going to say new in it, but making her way into this huge male dominated industry, I'm always so impressed, because I don't know. I know now that I would never take no for an answer, and you can't take no for an answer in this business. And I'm so glad that you stuck it out, and that your husband is like, oh, that's what you're gonna do. Okay, let's get it. Let's get it.
Yep.
So I'm telling you right now that this Lucre is like everything. It is everything. I mean, I can't even describe it as anything else. It's everything. It's the business. I always say that it's the business. Now I can't wait to have the Ducati, because I like to smoke in the morning. I'm retired.
You will love that.
I'm going to smoke that one tomorrow morning. It's like, I might as well get at it.
Yes, ma'am. But yeah, they're both great sticks. And I enjoy both of them. I mean, like I said, they're not too strong. They're not very heavy. So even with the Lucre, even though it's a medium to full, even if you just had a snack, you could still enjoy the Lucre with it and not feel queasy to your stomach. As long as you got what'd you say?
I said, now you tell me I could just have a snack.
Well, when you're smoking and you haven't had dinner yet, or you're in the process of cooking dinner. So, it's like, it's something that you can still enjoy before or after dinner. And, and it's not, I haven't eaten dinner yet. And let's see, so I've been working from home today. So when I work from home, I normally get through about 3 or 4 sticks a day. Wow. When I go into the office, I'm only stuck with 1 stick a day. But no, here's my little cheat sheet. I done got hooked on the cigarillos. So, so we talk about, you asked me in the beginning, was I going to stick with the Tatiana line? So the Tatiana is a very skinny cigar.
Yes.
It's a skinny cigar, a small cigar. My preferred size for a good smoke is a Gordo. I normally like a 60 gauge, a 6x60 type cigar.
Okay.
but I love a box press. I've gotten hooked on box presses. It's something about the way they make those cigars that it goes, everything goes through. You don't have to keep lighting it. So that's my other go-to, like I said, outside of my brand. But now I said, oh, I can do like the cigarette people and take a smoke break because I got the cigarillos. So now, if I feel the urge, or if I say, you know what, if I'm just having one of those days at work and I can't wait till 5 o'clock, then I'll go ahead and need my cigar break and grab me a cigarillo.
Because everybody needs a cigar break in their life.
Exactly. And sometimes you just can't wait till 5 o'clock.
Exactly.
But, that's what I said. You'll on my website, I have a little caption that says, it's cigar clock somewhere. Like it's cigar clock. We gonna get it in somehow, some way. We gonna get it in.
Exactly. Well, I want to thank you for sitting down. I know it was like kind of rushing and trying to get it all together, but I really wanted to get you on here so I could get you on the channel so I can get your name out there. And with this Lucrae, with this DeJaz cigars, y'all better go. I'm just saying, y'all better go get them. Y'all better
we gonna go get them. We gonna go get them.
Because I got to get to the website now. I got to get to the website because I know I'm smoking a Ducati tomorrow. So then it'd be like, oh, now I'm out. Because I can go through 3 or 4 a day, or I could go through 5 or 6 a day. So
look, I understand. Look, I understand you're a woman after my own heart. I understand. But Sandra, I really do thank you for taking the time to, speak with me and, wanting to know more about the DeJaz cigars. Like I said, I love what I do. I love talking about cigars. I love sharing my experiences with cigars. I mean, I go to cigar lounges to sit and hang out and talk to people. I love the camaraderie that comes along with it. And, I'm really passionate, but I really want people, to experience something different with their palate. I mean, because at the end of the day, that's how you find out the things that you really like. Yes. You can't say, well, I don't like that if you ain't never had it before. And exactly. so I always say, experience something new with your palate. Order from DeJaz Cigars.
There you go. Best commercial ever. So I am going to let you finish your cigar and your wine. I'm going to finish my rum punch, and as you can see, I've been putting the work in on it, honey. I've been getting it in. So I'm gonna go and finish glazing my pork chops, and I'm gonna finish this beauty. I don't know. I might have to have some coffee after dinner and smoke the Ducati. I don't know.
Not a problem. You know how to reach me, Miss Lady. I so thank you for the time, and I look forward to connecting with you through Instagram and Facebook. Look, you got my number. You have my contact information, so you definitely know how to reach me.
Oh yeah, because I'm gonna come to Delaware, or when you come down here to DC, Maryland area, we're gonna get together. We're gonna smoke a couple more of these Lucraes, ma'am.
we gonna keep it smoky, as they say.
We're gonna keep it smoky. So you have a great rest of your Monday.
And you do the same.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.